before I begin, I too would also just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on, and on behalf of myself and my team here present, just pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. I would also just like to extend my deepest thanks to Victoria and the Lady Musgrave Trust for inviting me to speak and share my experience as a young person working in primary prevention of domestic violence. Again, it's a huge privilege to be here amongst some amazing, very experienced individuals and experts in our field. My role as a program manager at YFS involves overseeing R for Respect. R for Respect is a peer-to-peer education program, and we deliver education workshops in schools and in community to empower young people with the tools and the knowledge to have healthy relationships and prevent DV before it occurs. R for Respect was established in 2015 by YFS in Logan after there was an identified need for more primary prevention work. Since starting, we have engaged with more than 600,000 young people across Logan and surrounds, and that's both face-to-face and online. An evaluation by our program in 2017 revealed that our model was successful in impacting young people's attitudes and creating an attitude shift. However, as we know, young men's attitudes and behaviours towards women remained incredibly difficult to shift. So in response to this, we have developed a suite of programs to cater to the diverse needs of young people, including young men, specifically young women, culturally and linguistically diverse young people, and gender diverse people as well. However, as we all know, there's an increasing demand on our services, but not an increase in capacity and funding, which has been one of our biggest hurdles as a program. We've worked actively to combat the very attitudes and behaviours that drive DV. In my 7 years of working in this space, first beginning as an 18-year-old, we've had many young people disclose intergenerational trauma and their own experiences with DV, whilst also begging for more work to be done in the space. I want to share one experience that has stuck with me in my line of work. Following one of our very first workshops at a school, in a Logan partnered school, a young man who sat in on one of our sessions had passed on an email, had asked his teacher to pass on an email to the team, and the email read that he was incredibly thankful for the team speaking to him, and through our workshop he came to the realisation that what him and his mum were experiencing at home was domestic and family violence. This encouraged him to later actually sit down with his mum and have a conversation about what was happening and encourage her to seek assistance and validate her experience. In this moment, we were able to plant a seed in a young person's mind and give him the power to break the cycle of violence. The issues that young people are facing in relation to DFV are incredibly complex, and this directly impacts the safety of women and girls. Many young girls we see in our workshops have no idea that consent can be taken back at any time, that they have a right to bodily autonomy and a right to say no. No idea that sex and compliance is expected and normal in a relationship. In contrast to this, many of the young men we see struggle to understand consent when it isn't modelled at home. They struggle with respecting boundaries, having empathy for women and girls, and regulating their own emotions. On top of that, young people are still coming to terms with their own trauma from intergenerational family violence. And sometimes when both home and school isn't a safe space, we are that safe space. It's clear to me that young people need access to inclusive, comprehensive, respectful relationships education, and young women need culturally safe spaces to learn about sex, to learn about consent and gender roles. We are incredibly lucky to have the support of our parental organisation, YFS, and our CEO, Kath, who have given young people like me a chance to lead, a chance to co-design a nationally award-winning program. I believe that respectful relationships education deserves to be a priority focus, and it deserves funding and proper implementation, because young people deserve this. When young people are empowered, we can be agents of change, not agents to be changed. Thank you.